This Friday is Friday the 13th. So I thought it'd be fun if I ranked all 12 Friday the 13th movies from the worst to the best. So let's get started. Ugh. Hello everyone and welcome back to Geek City. And I wanted to do this video last year. I wanted to rank all of the Friday the 13th movies, but I ran out of time because I believe that it was the Friday 13th from last year was in October. I didn't finish all of the movies in time. I didn't finish watching them all, so I didn't get to do that. But this year I rewatched them all, took a ton of notes, did a ton of research about what went down behind the scenes, and I thought it's finally time to do a Friday the 13th ranking. So let's not waste any time and get straight into this. So, coming in at number 12 in last place, in my opinion, the worst Friday the 13th movie is Jason Takes Manhattan. This is not controversial. I don't think this is very controversial. I feel like most people have this at the bottom, and I hate to be boring and put this at the bottom because everybody does. But there is a reason this movie's at the bottom. It's not good. So this movie is about Jason Takes Manhattan. Jason Voorhees in New York. That could be fun. But because of the budget, most of this movie is on a boat. So it's more like Jason takes a boat to Manhattan. That's what the movie should be called. Friday 13th Part 8, Jason takes a boat to Manhattan. Because the movie is about him on a boat, killing people that I do not care about. So since I feel like the last 30 minutes has some actually fun parts, like that iconic shot of him in Times Square and everything. That could have been interesting if we got a whole movie about him chasing down these teenagers in New York, but we don't get that. We get a movie about him on a boat killing people, which is not what the movie should have been. So that's the problem there. It's boring. It's him on a boat killing people. That's all. The last half, or the last quarter of the movie, there are some good stuff about it. I love that little boxing fight where the dude's beating him up and then he gets his head knocked off. All of the stuff that takes place in the New York is 10 times more interesting. But there's not a lot of that because most of the movie is on a boat. And there's even stuff with in New York and all throughout the movie that are just terrible decisions. You see, there's this girl that has trauma and she sees kid Jason for some reason. I don't know how that works and why, but basically so all throughout the movie she sees kid Jason, and every single time he looks different, and every single time he looks terrible. He either just looks like a normal kid, they didn't even try. Sometimes they'll give him a ball cap or something, sometimes he'll have goo on him, but every single time the effects look terrible. And to top it all off, at the very end of the movie, when they defeat Jason, there's a bunch of toxic waste on him, and it turns him into kid Jason. I don't know if that was supposed to be a metaphor or it's just something she's saying. They never really clarify. So to us, since they never really explained it, we think, okay, so the toxic waste turned him into a kid. Okay, sure. That's what the movie. That's why this movie is so bad. It's boring because of the budget. They can't really go to New York that much. They don't really go to Manhattan, and there's just a lot of really bad decisions. Coming in at number 11, I feel like most people would have this a little higher, but this is just my opinion. Forgot to clarify that earlier. This is just my opinion. If you disagreed, let me know in the comments, but don't be a jerk. Let people think what they want to think. It's okay. Part 3, the 3D one. So number 11 is Friday 13th Part 3, 3D. So there are a few. I feel like this movie has nothing new or interesting. Part 2 takes Part 1 and makes it 10 times better. This movie is Part 2, but not at a camp. It's at a barn or something. And so it doesn't really do anything new. There's no interesting characters. The final girl is nowhere as interesting as the girl from Part 2. I forget her name. The 3D effects are awful and annoying. Basically, all they do is they take something and they and they put it at the camera. They shove it at the camera. Hey, you need a pencil? Here you go. Look at the 3D. Well, it's so cool, isn't it? That's going on the entire movie, and it gets nauseating after a while of stuff getting shoved into your face. It doesn't even look good. So it's just look what we're doing. 3D. Isn't that so cool? It's not cool. It's annoying. and that spent most of the budget. So the rest of this movie is cheap. You can tell they did not care what the actors did as long as they could do stuff with the camera. So the acting is hilarious in this movie. And now I will say, we get the mask. This is the first movie where he dons the iconic mask. That's awesome, obviously. That's cool. He gets his mask. That's cool. Cool. I'm glad we finally get the Friday 13th mask, the iconic mask. It's cool that we finally get that. But he gets it like a lame way from killing this bummer dude that no one really likes. But anyway. Yeah. So number 10, A New Beginning. Some people actually like this movie, some people don't. I would look at it as it's entertaining but stupid. There are some really fun side characters in this movie. There's this like old grouchy grandma that's like cursing the whole movie. She's kind of fun. So there are some fun side characters. They decided that with this movie, they didn't want to. They wanted the final chapter to actually be the final chapter, but they wanted to continue the franchise. So they thought, we will make like a whodunit movie where there is someone going around killing people in the Jason mask, which could have been interesting if the killer reveal was not stupid and it didn't make any sense. So I believe his name is Roy Burns, right? They announced, okay, it's Roy Burns. He's the one that killed it. And the plot behind it is his son was killed because of chocolate. That's literally, like, his son is killed because chocolate, and the dude hits him with the axe. And Roy Burns is like, they killed my son. I'm going to go around killing strangers. He doesn't even kill the dude that killed his son. He just goes around killing people. And maybe it could have made a little more sense if at the beginning of the movie they clarified that kid never knew his dad. So what's going on here? Did they happen to be in the same small town? But like, if that's so, if he never knew his dad, why does Roy Burns have a photo of the kid in his wallet that's like updated? It doesn't make any sense. They don't think they really thought that through there. I feel like if you're gonna do a whodunit, it has to make sense. And also, maybe if they showed Roy Burns like a little more, you see him like twice before the character reveal, and it's like for small scenes. You wouldn't know his name if he wasn't the killer. Like, you would never know. So because of that movie, they dropped the whole mystery whodunit because it did not work. Number 9, we have Jason X. So this movie feels more like an action movie than a horror movie. It's not horror. It's Jason in space. I mean, most franchises, like horror franchises, if you say in space, that means the franchise is dead. But this, it actually kind of worked. I will say Uber Jason is cool. It's a lot of fun. I like the design. It's pretty iconic. There's some corny dialogue in here. Everybody's making Joss Whedon jokes in it. It's like the he's right behind me type thing, and it gets really annoying after a while. There are some cool kills. There's one kill where like he freezes a girl's head and like smashes it and something. It's not realistic, but it's cool. So yeah, I mean, there are fun things in here. There's some fun action. Jason in space is kind of cool. It's not a good movie, but it's fun. I enjoy it. So coming in number 8, The New Blood. This movie, if not for the Carrie ripoff, would probably be bottom 3. Because they don't bother at all with they don't do anything interesting. It's the same group of horny, attractive teenagers, and Jason kills them. That's it. But they added ripoff Carrie. So basically, the movie is super, super boring for like the first hour and 10 minutes. It's just Jason going around doing the same thing that he's been doing for all of these movies. It's the same thing. But, they add a little fun spin to it of rip off Carrie. So at the end, there's a fun fight there with Carrie versus Jason that's kind of fun. I enjoy that. That's the only good thing about this movie is the rip off Carrie versus Jason. She's moving stuff and, he dies or whatever. There's that. That's it. The final fight's fun, but if not for that, this would be bottom 3 because there's nothing new or interesting. There's not much to talk about here. There's nothing new or interesting. It's the same thing. Jason going around killing people in the woods. Number 7, Jason Goes to Hell. Most people have this on the bottom 3 because this concept is out of nowhere. They have never set this up, but basically it's Jason is transporting his soul into other people. And so so Jason isn't really in this movie. It's not really there's not a lot of Jason in it. But this is another one where it feels like more of an action movie than a horror movie. It has like you have like a Terminator type character going around, and at the end there's like people shooting each other and whatnot. So it's fun. There's actually some fun side characters in here with like the people at the diner and whatnot. It's not. It's a stupid concept, but it kind of worked. I don't know. I kind of enjoyed it with the whole mystery, magic, mystical type thing where oh wow, that's so cool. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. They never set this up in any of the past movies where Jason can do this, but the dude eats his black heart and all of a sudden he's Jason. That doesn't make any sense, but it's fun. So it's a fun concept. It doesn't make any sense, but I have fun with it. Number 6, Friday 13th, 1980. The only reason this movie is this high is because of the importance. This movie has nothing interesting. They stated they wanted to make this movie to rip off Halloween. That's what they did. It's a lame movie. It's slow and boring. There are times where you're seeing the main character make coffee. Like, it's boring. It started this iconic franchise. That's the only reason it managed to make it to number 6. Looking back now, I wish I put it like lower because it's not a good movie at all. I think I would rather watch Jason Goes to Hell than Friday 13th, 1980. I just feel like because of the fact that came out of nowhere, I decided to put it a little lower. But, it's boring. It's slow. There's no interesting characters. It's cool to see Kevin Bacon, but the killer reveal is also lame because they play it off as a whodunit, and then the reveal is, oh yeah, it was Jason's mom. Jason, that character we've mentioned maybe twice. His mom, you haven't seen her yet, but that's who it is. Oh my gosh, no one could predict that because we haven't seen this character yet, but Betsy Palmer is fun, so she brings a little bit of life to it for the last, 20 minutes that her and Alice fighting. That's a little fun, brings a little life to the movie. But other than that, there's nothing special going on here. This is not a good movie. If this movie did not do good, it did do good. But if it didn't do good, then it wouldn't have been considered so great. A lot of people love this movie, but I feel like there's also a group of people that know this movie's not very good, and I'm one of them. It's not a good movie. Coming in at number 5, I just want to clarify, there is a huge gap. Number 5 is actually a good movie. I really enjoyed this movie. And that is Part 2. First time we actually see Jason Voorhees in here, killing people. It took Part 1 and actually gave us some interesting characters, like with Paul Holt, the guy in the wheelchair and all that. A good final girl. I forget her name sometimes, but she's actually a pretty good final girl. I like one of my favorites. She's the one that created the whole, she pretends to be Jason's mom, and that's how she takes him out. We got Baghead Jason in here. So there's some good kills. Like, I like the one where he stabs the wheelchair dude and he tumbles down the stairs. So yeah, there's some fun kills. I like some of the side characters in here. They're kind of interesting. We finally see Jason. There's, a good final girl, which some of these movies lack. So yeah, I thought this one was actually pretty solid. So yeah, it gave us Jason. So that's pretty cool. Coming in at number 4, Freddy vs. Jason. I hate that Friday 13th fans and Nightmare on Elm Street fans complain about this movie when I feel like this is the ultimate version of that concept of two iconic horror characters. There is no way you could tell a serious horror movie where these two are, WWE wrestling fighting each other. There's no way you could do that. So they had fun with it. So there's a fun fight with Freddy and Jason in here. The concept here of the actual plot going on makes sense of Freddy isn't really powerful anymore because no one's scared of him, so he uses Jason to get people scared of him. That makes sense. That's a good reason for these two to be interacting. The characters in here, there's no one really that interesting, but that's not what you come for when you see Freddy versus Jason. You're not going for I'm excited to see what cool side characters we get. You're here to see Freddy and Jason fight. That's what you get. So, I think this movie's good. I like this movie, and I think it does what a Freddy vs. Jason movie should do. Coming in at number 3, this is the one that most people put at number 1, and I'm gonna go with it's Jason Lives. This is the introduction to Zombie Jason, where Tommy Jarvis digs up Jason, and then lightning strikes and bam. So this movie has a good tone where it mixes goofy. I feel like this movie is a little more, comical, but it still has some horror to it. There's some fun side characters in here. I actually like with the love interest in here and how their kind of relationship. This is probably the best version of Tommy Jarvis. Well, maybe, I don't know. Two of them I like. One of them he doesn't really talk at all in the movie, but so yeah, this is what most people consider the best. I'm gonna open this because I'm running out of air here. I mean, there's not much to say because I feel like everybody's already talked about how good this movie is, where you get Zombie Jason. It kind of understands the tone here, where if you're going to bring a character back to life by lightning, you're going to have to be a little more goofy with it, so they don't take it too seriously. And that's what I think is good about this movie. It actually has a plot. There's actually stuff going on. Like, there's actually a plot, which with some of these movies, you can't say they have a plot because they don't really have a plot. This movie does. So yeah, because of that, it makes top 3. Coming in at number 2, we have Chapter 4, the final chapter. You know, it's a good conclusion for the first 4 movies. This is the introduction to Tommy Jarvis. For the first time in this franchise, we have actually really good side characters with like what's his name? Back to the Future dude with the stupid dance moves and all that. So there are some fun side characters in here. This is a great version of Jason. I really like this version of Jason. There's some good kills. Overall, this is just an awesome movie. I think they did a really good job here, and most people would agree this is one of the best Friday the 13th movies. This and Jason Lives are the ones that are usually considered the best. And yeah, I think there's a reason. This is just a really, genuinely really good movie with good side characters, a good lead character in here with making it a kid. That's something different and new. Good version of Jason. And it does do a good job concluding the movies, even though it is not a conclusion. It's not a final chapter at all. But that's okay. That's fine. But yeah, this is overall just a great movie. I think this knocked it out of the park. But coming in at number 1, some people agree with this. Some people don't, and that's okay. That's fine. Number 1, Friday 13th, 2009, the reboot. I don't care what you say. I love this movie. I think this is the perfect combination of takes the first 4 movies and puts it in one, which just shows you how little plot there is if you can take 4 movies and make it one movie in under an hour and 30 minutes or so. I think it does a good job with that. The first 5 minutes is the mama Jason, and then you have like a 25-minute story with Baghead Jason, and then the next is with him getting the mask and everything. So it's just basically taking the first 4 films, putting it into one. This is my favorite version of Jason. I don't want to say best because you can have your own opinion, but in my opinion, this is the best Jason. He's running, he's a beast, he's actually smart, he's intelligent, he's setting up traps, with the bear trap and all that, and tying someone out over a fire and burning them and all that. So this is a smart Jason. I love the dude who played him. I forget his name, but there are some really gory kills in here that I really like. The side characters in here are fun. I like Trent, who connects Transformers to Friday 13th. So these two are in the same. Transformers and Friday 13th in 2009 are in the same universe because Trent played by the same actors in Transformers, and these are both Michael Bay movies with Platinum Dunes. So technically, these two are connected. So after Trent goes hanging out with Shia LaBeouf, he gets killed by Jason. Fine by me. So yeah, Trent is a really fun. He's a total douchebag, and it's great. It's great. He plays his part well. I like a lot of the side characters in here with the stoners, I believe, Chewie or something, whatever his name is. So I like all the side characters. We have a switch out final girl where the girl from the Flash TV show. That was a really shocking kill. I did not expect them to kill her off. This was the first time watch for me. And I feel like this is everything a Friday the 13th movie needs to be. This movie right here. It takes the best elements of fun side characters, great version of Jason, great kills, and ties it to the lore. I like the subplot in here with the dude trying to find his sister. So overall, I think this is the ultimate Friday the 13th movie, and I wish we got a sequel, but they have not been able to figure out the whole rights situation. So, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to let me know in the comments section how you would rank all of the Friday the 13th movies. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Turn on notifications, and as always, stay geeky.